My name is Tanya Isaac, and I'm Kwakwakiwak from the Numgees Nation up in Alert Bay, BC. I'm kind of scramming to work and finish my piece for the exhibit. I don't have a set theme or idea that I want people to take away from it. I'd rather them look at it when it's all complete and kind of have their own idea of what it means and kind of draw out something that's personal to them. I like the last piece I did for the pop-up shop. That's kind of what ended up happening. I didn't have a set theme for it, and people came by and were talking about it, and that was like my favorite thing, hearing how they interpreted my art. So that's what I hope to hear when I'm done this piece.
My name's Josh Goodwill. I come from the Sishot territory I come from the Sishot people of the New Toronto territories up around Port Alberni area. And the story behind this drum is that I was honored and privileged to be gifted to it from an elderly lady who, her husband was gifted it from the Williams Lake Band. And he used to work at the University of Victoria and really advocated for Indigenous rights, and he really educated a lot of people on Indigenous issues going across Canada. And he passed away, so this drum kind of sat in the closet for a long period of time, about 7 years, and she finally brought it out and decided she needed to give it away and kind of give it to someone who kind of like an Indigenous leader, Indigenous youth kind of coming up and finding their own identity. And I was privileged and honored enough to receive this drum, and my goal is to kind of bring it back to life. So I'm doing something that's, I received this around the time when I kind of, my life changed when becoming a father. So my wife is currently pregnant, and this is kind of just my interpretation of bringing something back to life. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I'll keep on working on it, so yeah. Thank you.
So my name is Jesse Campbell. I'm Cree, Métis, Scottish, English, Canadian. My piece here is the Shapeshifter, and sort of what I want to get across with this is just how cross-culturally there's so many different representations of like the trickster and the shapeshifter, and I want to take something from my culture, the Cree, and use sort of shapeshifter form and tie that into the West Coast representation of the shapeshifter, which is of course Raven.
My name is Sasha Willette, and my pieces in this work were called Women. It's a series of 4 different Indigenous women that are very close to me, and I wanted to show them in their natural habitats and in a different way than I see Indigenous women being portrayed. I wanted to show the realities of their everyday life, and them existing in a way is an act of resilience in itself for Indigenous people, and I really just wanted to show their beauty as I see it, and that's basically what it was about. And photography is a medium that I'm really comfortable with, so it was really wonderful to be able to work in that medium for this event, as well as my work with Lindsay Delaronde and Kayla is called Between Needle and Thread, and that's where we came together each week and created moccasins, which we'll be showing here today. So that's an installation piece, and I'll be working together throughout this event with them to create our moccasins and to show the process and all things that surround that process together.
Brianna Dick, and this is the Imagination Station. I originally came up with the idea because I crochet. I've been crocheting since I was maybe 8. I learned from my mom, and then I just developed it as I grew up. So I wanted to honor that in some way and create a station that can be interactive and playful and just allow everybody to enjoy it in some way, whether it's sitting on a seat or touching the fur on the canvas or on the carpet or just hanging out to have a good time. So yeah, that's my station.
So my name is Lindsay Delaronde. My Mohawk name is Gadzita Gotste, and I'm a Mohawk First Nations from Ganawage, Quebec. Yes, yeah. And so this artwork that you see here is a series of 14 paddles in total. This is 2 from the 14. The other paddles actually are back east in my home community. I had a solo exhibition there at our cultural center. So that has a very interesting history as well in terms of me being at East Coast First Nations, coming to the west coast of British Columbia and getting introduced to the Morris family of the Sartlip Preserve in Brentwood, BC. So I am a canoe puller as well, so I was invited to be part of their canoe club. So I've been paddling with them since 2009. So some difficult challenges and circumstances arise with family, and I kind of questioned myself and I said, I'm an outsider. I'm still an outsider, but I still participate, but I still am not from that nation. How do I go about honoring and paying respect to the people that have embraced me as a family member, for allowing me to paddle in their canoes, allowing me to be part of their culture that way. And so to do this project is out of that honor and that respect, and coming in as a Mohawk into Coast Salish territory. There was a lot of cultural protocol that I had to honor, which was talking to the chief of Sartlip, Wayne Morris, telling him about my ideas about wanting to do photo transfers of the Coast Salish war canoe directly onto cedar paddles. And he was very supportive of that, as well as his other family members. And so the research of collecting photographs took a long time, but there was already those ties established, and all those relationships were well maintained, so they were very supportive to let me use any photographs that I asked. And I had a lot of photographs of my own, and so I've Victoria Archives also allowed me to use some of their photographs. So those different components coming together, I guess we're all through relationship building. How do you work nation to nation? You know, not just non-natives working with native people and that alliance, but then also looking internal and saying, how do I, as another native person, work with another native person? So just really looking at those relationship dynamics that way. And so these 2 paddles are from the 14 in total. And that's the work. They're called war canoe paddles, and another interesting component to this piece as well is the paddle maker. His name is Yalmer Wenstob, who is New Channels from Ucluelet. And so again, working as an outsider, but on the territory, and how do you maneuver that? You know, they're Coast Salish images on New Channel paddles made by a Mohawk person. You know, so there's it's really contrast and to people coming in with very strict, rigid rules of traditional ways of making native art. And I don't see myself in that category, and especially in relation to this project, which is okay for me. And yeah, that's what I could say about